Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jamie Nelson, one of the Summer of AI organizers and the host for today's session. This event is all about Illinois Chat, soon to be the official AI offering on the Illinois campus. This session will showcase what the Illinois Chat platform is all about, including the use cases, future plans, and will include a QA and feedback session. Our presenter is Rohan Marwaha, Research Software Engineer at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications. If you have any questions inside the room, feel free to raise your hand. If you have any questions online, feel free to put it in the chat on the right there. We'll collect those. We'll kind of give you a thumbs up on the chat if the Okay, thank you guys. I'm back. If you're interested, of course, Rohan's the lead developer. He's been in this Illinois Chat project, so he's a cool guy to listen to. And then we also have another cool guy, Prashemik Bosak from CITL, who next Thursday, July 10th at 2 p.m., will have a kind of a hands-on session on how to use Illinois Chat as well. So if you're interested here, you might be interested in attending the workshop next week. So thank you for attending. I hope you enjoy, and I'm going to hand it over to Rowan.
Hello. Welcome to Illinois Chat Showcase. First of all, thank you for the opportunity, Jamie, as well as CITL, to have me present Illinois Chat, which is soon to be launched as the official campus service at the University of Illinois. And to introduce myself, I am Rohan Marwaha. I'm a research software engineer at NCSA, and I will take you through, what is the platform about, what are the features, what are the various use cases that the people are already using it for, and I'll take a Q&A at the end and also, give some leak some details, some behind the scene details that we have in plan, the roadmap of the platform. So let me get started. So first of all, you can just, I'll just drop the link to this presentation. If anyone wants to check it out on their own machines, they can. And to get started, why Illinois Chat? Like, why do we need this platform? So, across this entire university, we have course materials, we have PDFs, we have recordings on media space and ton of other places, which are all scattered around. So as a student or as a professor, how would you, bring everything in one place to solve your problems? Again, so this brings in the time consuming searches. Illinois Chat delivers that single AI assistant which can give you grounded responses, unlike ChatGPT. Many people came to me and asked me, why don't we just use ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT does not have the context of what your content is about, but Illinois Chat primarily looks into that particular use case where you can upload your documents and always have grounded results based on the content that you have. According to me, Illinois Chat is the future of education at UIUC, and it'll be your favorite AI-powered teaching and learning assistant. Now, who is it for? I think, and a lot of others think, this is about students, faculty, researchers, staff and admins. Each and every possible person who is on campus can utilize this platform in one or the other way. There are so many use cases that I will discuss today that are already being implemented, and I'm hoping that more people here will figure out even more use cases than I know. So that is why I mentioned here your ideas and use cases could directly influence what comes next. Maybe we don't have a feature today, but just because you asked for it, it'll solve the problem for someone else tomorrow. So, there are a couple of use cases here, like you can have Q&A on your course materials, you can do a quiz prep, or you can even create quizzes or lesson outlines as a professor. You can have officer prep assistants so that there doesn't have to be someone you always rely on when someone needs an answer regarding your course. Researchers can use this for literature review. You can write proposals with it. You can share your knowledge base with others uh, if you have tons and tons of data. For staff and admins, primarily it can be used for 24/7 customer support. You can have user permission controls if you want something private, otherwise you can have it public. But I know I'm going on and on about different things here, but I'll deep dive into everything starting from features and what can we do today. So, this is a high level overview of what we have. We have uploading of documents, we have role-based access controls. We, of course, have chat, which is the primary touch point for most of the people. We have analytics. You can decide how your chatbot behaves. You can also take this out of our platform by utilizing our API. And lastly, we have tool calling, which makes a tremendous amount of use of what external tools that you might have. Maybe you have an API that you want to be called in our chat platform. So yeah, let me deep dive into each feature now in detail. Um, the first one is upload content. So, the first thing that anyone would do on our platform, they would create a project. Um, so I have a link here and I'll go to this in a moment. But just to give you an overview, we have uploading all types of files, file types, be it PDF, PowerPoint, CSV files, anything you want. We have OCR support, so your PDFs could possibly be just images with the content. We have platform integrations with Canvas, which is the learning management system here at campus. Uh, we can do web scraping, and we have two external integrations as well for Coursera and MIT. One of my favorite features is this last one, which is document groups. Uh, a lot of professors, and I will show this again in the use cases, but one of our professors uses these document groups to uh, release their material, course material, in a weekly fashion. So they have a Canvas course and they'll ingest everything, and then they'll create document groups for each week, and they'll enable only certain weeks of content for the students to consume. But anyway, again, I'm rambling. So let me get to create your project. This is the screen you will see, and you can say something like, I will say summer of AI demo, maybe. You create this and you see this is the exact same screenshot that I had there. So you can just upload your documents and go on from here. I'll cover the other places real quick. Next thing is access control. So how is this different from ChatGPT? Like ChatGPT, you will be using it as a chat platform which you as a consumer are using. Here, you are creating your own chatbot that you can share with others. So as you can see, you can have project visibility, you can have public project. In that case, it will be open to anyone who has the URL. And there are private projects. For these private projects, you can set viewers or users who can only have access to chat, and for both public and private projects, you can have admins who can change any possible setting that you see. And just to give some overview of this in live, here is the share chatbot button. You click it here, and you see you have a link that you can share with others. You can make it private. You can add the members, or you can add administrators. I hope this gives some sense on why this is different from most of the chat platforms out there, like ChatGPT or Claude. Because here is where you are creating your own chatbot with its own behavior. In addition to this, admin dashboard gives you a lot of other things in addition to upload, which is access to analytics, monitoring. You have prompting and AI behavior, and of course, API and tool management. And I'll deep dive into them now. So the main thing about chat is you get grounded responses. The main reason I had upload as the first feature was to explain that the content that will be used to answer the questions will be your documents that you pulled in from web scraping, or you uploaded PDFs, or you uh, pulled them in from Canvas maybe. So the answers will always be grounded and much more accurate than what you would see in ChatGPT, which does not have information about it. You have model selection, so you can possibly use any commercial model. We have support for tons of them. All the famous ones are, we have integration for them. You can just plug in your API key and you can use them. And we also host a lot of open source models, which you can use for free. One of my favorite is Quen. It is an amazing model. If you look at it, it's a multimodal model. You can also upload images directly into the chat and have multi-turn conversations. Um, Here Jamie, you have a question?
We have a question from the audience.
Uh-huh.
They're just asking, does Illinois chat offer data protection, meaning is it safe to use participant data?
Right. So we recommend that you do not upload any PII content yet, but we do not use any of the data for training of models, unlike other platforms. So your data is always secure with us and everything can be deleted.
Is there, maybe it's too early, is there a plan to kind of have a secure data stream for research or this kind of stuff?
Yes, I'll bring that in up in my roadmap. All right. So yeah, I was mentioning here that we have Quen 2.572B, thanks to Illinois Computes, we have an amazing $250,000 machine hosting this model for all of the users at campus. So I'm really glad and I'm thankful to them for providing us this infrastructure. And here is a demo for it, and you'll see how fast it'll go. And you see the first step that it did was retrieve the documents, and you see the 100 document chunks were used to answer your question. So it's not directly, an LLM responding to your question, but it's more about you having cited responses from those particular documents when the answer is generated. And I'll come back to this screen again on what this project is and what are the documents. But this was a quick demo of what chat is about. And the next feature we have is analytics. So we have usage metrics, how many conversations have taken place. They are all time-based metrics. We also have total metrics. So you can have analysis on, what is the model usage patterns, how many people like to use a specific model, or how many people are engaging in what time of day. This is especially useful for professors. And one insight that was generated by a few professors and was consistent across different departments was that students tend to use the chatbot platform much more when they are approaching the examinations, which is very obvious, but it was something cool to look at from the stats. So if you go to the dashboard and you look at the analysis, you'll see that you have project analysis, analytics, you have total conversation, total users, you have model distribution, and of course you can vary it on the basis of time. Uh, so you'll see, how many people like using which model. And we also have based on the basis of day and hours. So you can see that most of the people like to use it around 6 p.m. Um, so yeah, that is all about analytics. And I'll move on to prompting. This is the holy grail of this platform. Uh, you can decide what the behavior of your chatbot is going to be just by writing a couple of English sentences. And to be honest, it doesn't have to be English. It can be any language. So you can write custom system prompts. You can define a particular personality. You can set the tone. It has to be polite, or it has to be something like it doesn't give the response. It always asks you another question. So you need to do like prompt testing, which is very easy with this. Like you just make a change and test it out in the chat. We have a couple special modes, which is one is called guided learning, and maybe I'll go through this and show it to you here. And the reason I came here is to show this underrated feature that we have in all of our features, which is these small I dots. We always try to give an explanation of what that particular feature does. So what this does is when this is enabled, the users will not get a direct response to their question, but they will get hints towards solving that question's answer. This is especially useful in education settings, or like when professors try to use it in their classroom, uh, so that the students don't get like a direct response, but they are kind of hinted towards what it could be. One of the other custom modes we have is document-based references only. This particular mode enables the chatbot to only answer the questions based on the documents. Like even though we have documents, it is not necessary that the model might respond on the basis of those documents. It can use it's something called its pre-trained knowledge, the knowledge that it was trained on, to answer the question. But this particular mode enables that you only get cited responses in this case. This one is especially useful in specific research domains where you can say, in legal matters, you need referenced cited responses, or in medical domain where you want to make sure that the answers are generated from a particular document. So these are two of the like advanced features that a couple of people use, still underrated in my opinion. uh, the other one is bypassing all our internal prompting. Like if you want full control of your chatbot and you don't want our prompts, which basically do the citation generation internally, these pink links that you saw is what our internal prompts do. And also a couple of other things like putting all of the documents in the prompt so that it can answer the question on the basis of that. And the last one, which is coming soon on this same page, is custom GPTs. Like the reason behind this entire feature was, we made these three different features. We saw that these three are like custom modes or custom GPTs that we created internally. Like why not let the users or like power users create their own modes? So yes, this is coming soon. For tech savvy people who want to use our platform but don't want to be tied to our interface, you can create your chatbot, you can upload your documents, and you can just use our API. We give like RESTful API endpoint, uh, where we have different flags. Like you can use it in a streaming manner, you can use it in a non-streaming manner. We also support this flag of retrieval only, which makes sure like if it is enabled, then it will not be the final model's response, but it'll only be the document chunks that were retrieved via our search. So this one has the ability to, taking people out of the platform, yet utilizing all of the features that we internally have. Of course, you can set, we have this interactive request builder, and I'll actually show this out for a better sense. Like you can, change the model here, you can change the system prompt here, you can change the language. It can be a Python or a Node request, and, change the flags and just copy the request and you have it ready. Of course, don't forget to generate your API key first. But yeah, so this can enable any integration outside of our platform, which is very helpful in certain cases, especially in 24/7 customer support cases where you want your own chatbot on your own website, but you still want it to be grounded to the documents that you have or the website that you have. So this is as simple as, grabbing the URL to your website, putting it into web scrape, then copy pasting this entire this request, and you have your chatbot ready. The next one, and this is a bit advanced one. Uh, very few people use this, but this enables you to do anything arbitrary that our platform does not support. We use a tool called NA10, and we have a feature which can enable calling tools which are running on NA10, uh, which can be arbitrary workflows. In most of the cases, when people have their own APIs, they this is especially useful to pull in the information from those APIs. So you see where I'm going at, like we are trying to bring information from outside world, and we are also trying to push the information that we have to the outside world. So we have a two-way connection externally. Like you can pull in your information, and you can also pull out the information that you captured in this. So we have multimodal tool support. Like it can also be where images are passed, and I'll show you an example for that. It can be single or multiple parallel tools. Like if you think there are multiple data sources which have APIs where you can grab information from before answering the question, you can simply integrate that, and the model will decide at runtime to call those tools before answering the question. Of course, I mentioned custom tools if you have your own API, and of course, you have full control of to enable or disable these tools in the chat settings. And again, to give you a quick overview of how that looks, we have settings here and we have tools. And you see, these are all the tools that are available, and I can just disable a few of them and then, use only a couple of them. So you have full control over this. Next up is use cases. I want to pause here and see if anyone has questions so far regarding the features, and I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I will move on to use cases.
The one that's kind of hanging out here is the lowest one there. Is there any help available at the university with setting up an ADA?
Well, I think most of the people who have tried N10, we try to support them in terms of how workflows can be created. There is an entire work community of N10 out there. They have their own courses because it's a very like it can be a very simple workflow and it can also be a very complex workflow. So there are like educators out there who teach how to create N10 workflows. But in general, when someone comes to us and say, we want to create an N10 workflow, uh, we help them a lot. All right, so I'll jump into use cases if there are no more questions. As I mentioned in the beginning, this can help you support in the classroom learning, both faculty and staff. This can help in research and domain-specific areas. It can also help in personal projects, like you're making something for your class for one of your courses, or you want to do something as a side project. You can just utilize our platform to build features and create your own platforms out of it. So let me dive deeper into these features or use cases rather. um, to start in the classroom, it helps you with 24/7 homework help. Like if the professors that are using the Canvas integration, they are very uh, relaxed, like they don't have to answer questions all the time. They just set up the chatbot and share it with their students, and they go on and on about asking the questions to their to that chatbot. A couple of other uh, ways it can be used is you can create your own personal study guides. Like if you have your own PDFs, you can create your own knowledge base along with the Canvas information, and you can have your own personalized study guide. If you can change the system prompt to say help me learn this particular topic, and don't answer my questions directly, just like the guided learning mode I mentioned. And then you have a fully featured personalized study guide for yourself. Faculties use this for creating quizzes. Like you can create quizzes using this, and you can also create a chatbot, which is an assignment, which is what I mentioned as generative AI quizzes. And we're building a new feature where the students will be able to share their chats with the professors, which can then be used as the assignment response basically. So that's one. You can of course do like course content summarization, and I think one of the areas which is not very overutilized right now is like language translation. I think especially the courses which teach specific languages, uh, this tool can come in very handy, where they can just set up a chatbot to help the student understand what words are spoken in what manner, what are the phonetics, what are the different words like synonyms that could exist for those particular words in a different language. And of course, you can do all sorts of things with coding and debugging uh, with uh, with this particular platform. One of the places where we use this a lot is we have supercomputers at NCSA, and we have documentation for those supercomputers, and we just created a chatbot for it. And whenever people have to write certain scripts for those supercomputers, they just ask that chatbot, and they get grounded results from the documentation, which are more often than correct as compared to ChatGPT. I put this screenshot here to just show how professor has set up their document groups on a weekly basis, and as their course progresses, they enable more and more document groups, and this way your content stays organized as well as your students get information on a weekly basis as the course progresses. And I can probably I'll skip that for this one. I think I showed document groups. Yeah, please go ahead.
we had a question online, and I just want to make sure I'm answering it correctly, but maybe it's worth a show. Just to clarify, will Illinois Chat be free to use for all instructors on campus? I responded with yes if you use the free models. Is that accurate? And then can we show somebody kind of like, oh, here's where the free models are, just so they know?
Sure. So if you just want to utilize the chat, you have all of these models for free, even GPT 4.1 mini, which was subsidized by Office of CIO. Again, thank you so much. You also have web LLMs. These LLMs can run in your browser, and these are the NCSA hosted models which are running on supercomputers. So you have access to all of these models. For this particular chat, if you create a new project of your own, then I created one, right? I forgot the name. Okay, this was the name. In that case, you can go here and see LLMs, and you will have access to, again, all of these models for free, as well as all of these models for free. The commercial models are the only ones that you will have to put in API keys for. But all of the models that we host are free, and the platform is completely free of use. Like, you can drop in on this particular URL right now, and you can try it out.
And then kind of a follow-up, which I think, is it possible to sign up without API creds for the commercial models?
Signing up for commercial model without the API credits. I don't think so that kind of exists.
Yeah.
Like, if you need to use any commercial model outside of their platform, the only way to do is using the commercial models, using the API keys.
So I'm working this and I've been starting a chat.
Mhm.
And what question I have on this is, can you help me understand a little bit better? Yes, whether or not I would, like, under what circumstances should I specific APIs personally chat box?
Do you mean our APIs or commercial model APIs?
Question is like, at the moment, I'm using default APIs.
Okay.
I'm not ready to go in and set up my own, but I keep reading about it and I don't know when I should set up my own.
Okay. So, yeah, so for most of the daily tasks, I think the freely available models are okay. The only time you should go ahead and try out commercial models is when you have complex tasks, like, say, for example, you have something related to math, or you have something related to biology, or you have something where you can say reasoning is involved. In those scenarios, commercial models are way ahead of time as compared to the freely available ones.
GPT.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
Would I then need to set up an API key to the Wolfram GPT, or will that be captured with the chat GPT?
I think I am not aware of how do you mean by Wolfram GPT?
To chat GPT,
Mhm.
website, you can play around with it. There are other quote unquote GPTs.
Right.
One of them,
Right.
particularly well suited for the computation.
Mm-hmm.
So do I need to set up a separate API?
Right. So
Just throwing this in, the audience can't hear your question, which is fine.
Yeah.
So if you could repeat
Sure.
a little bit, yeah.
So the question is whether we can use custom GPTs from ChatGPT within Illinois Chat. The answer to that question is, as of now, no. Uh, the only difference, like, what is a custom GPT? It has a system prompt, which makes it the Wolfram expert. And as of now, you can create a new project and put in that system prompt and use that API key of whatever model you want to use, whether it is GPT 4.0, GPT 4.1, and you have basically the exact same behavior. Or this is upcoming. We are planning to release custom GPTs of our own, where you will be able to choose from, first of all, system prompts, which is again what powers custom GPTs. And in addition to that, various document groups as well as tools. So, you can have one uh, GPT, which could be Wolfram expert, but also has access to 5 different PDFs which are necessary. So I think this is extremely useful and comes in very in sync with what we do, like with the documents, which most of the chat platforms don't. Like they only give you access to LLMs, but we want to make sure that that access to LLMs is grounded with those documents so that the responses are accurate. Sure.
I'll try. What kind of guardrail or any censor of malicious chat is available in chat?
Right. So we have our monitoring system set up in a way that whenever a chat is sent in the system, and if it is in 5 or 6 different categories, I'm forgetting the exact number, which includes, of course, sensitive information or harmful information, then we internally get a notification that there was a chat from this person related to this particular topic. We have it in mind to release this as a feature so that the project admins can also get emails whenever such a thing happens. We are just making sure that it is stable enough. Right now we have a lot of false positives as well, so we are making sure that it is stable before we release that out. Yeah, I'm glad we have so many questions on Classroom. I'll move on to the next use case, which is research and domain specific areas. So we have projects which have thousands and thousands of documents. The screenshot that you see here is of a project called Crop Wizard from AI Farms, and this is backed by 800,000, approximately 800,000 documents at the moment from the extension units from all over the United States, from land-grant universities. And this is just one example of how this could be used in research areas. Uh, as you see here in this example, it's not just the documents that were retrieved. The image was used to generate an image description. Then the documents were retrieved on the basis of the image description. Then we asked the model to run a tool. This is where n8n comes in. So this is a tool set up by that team. The tool is basically a model which can detect pests, and it gives you an output of detected pests with a confidence score. And I will show this to you guys. So if you see here, we see that it finds out the scientific name of that particular pest and gives you a confidence score. Here you see there are 4, and all of these 3 which have less confidence score are incorrect. And that is on the basis of which your final answer is generated. So this becomes more of an agronomist research assistant than just simple chat. Uh, while where we use multiple model of information, in the sense, use images, you use text, you generate descriptions, you do analysis on it, and then you give the final response, which becomes much more nuanced than a simple chat. In a similar fashion, this can also be used in medical and biomedical areas to do data analysis and find grounded information on the basis of, there are several tools out there in the world which can be used, especially several models. Another use case that we have seen is legal research, like people do case law analysis on the basis they just upload the case laws PDFs to their project, and then they ask questions about, various different things, which ideally an analyst would go in and read that and then try to answer the question. But now they can just drop in their question and get the answer about it. Um, and again, engineering is the most obvious one. That's why I kept it in the last, where you can create documentation. One of the things that we recently created is, if you go to UIUC chat/docs, it'll take you to a chat, which basically is the documentation. I don't have this set up very well, but if you ask it, how do I integrate Canvas? Then it will answer on the basis of the documentation that we have. So this is basically a 24/7 technical support. And these are the exact same steps that would be necessary. You see, we have to add this particular bot user to your Canvas course, and then you hit the search. I can actually show you. And this is the exact same thing that you'll see here. You have to add this to your bot course, and then you put the URL here. So yeah, that's one example that I brought up on the fly. I was not prepared for it. but still, that exists. So in addition to that, we can have research support tools, like you can do citation analysis. You can take the help of this platform to update or write your grant proposals, or even do data visualization, like because it can spit out any code, so you can use it for data visualization as well as statistics. In terms of professional development, you can do all sorts of things related to policies and compliance issues, and it is especially helpful at career counseling, like very, very, very good. Like try to ask a question where you are distressed, and you will be not distressed in a couple of minutes. And the last one is personal projects and development. So personal projects are a key to how someone's journey as a student progresses. And this platform makes it very easy for anyone to get started without having to do what we have done so far. Like we have poured in 2 years of our work to create this project, and that's the reason we also offer an API that you can just drag and drop your documents on our platform, and then copy paste the APIs and use it in your own platforms or on your own websites, all for free. So you can, you know, uh, use it for all sorts of agentic solutions. Like if you're working on an agentic solution, I'm very confident that you will be looking for something where retrieval is involved. And this is where our API comes in. You can use our API out of the box as a part of your as a RAG assistant. Uh, Apart from that, I find it very helpful to have my different kinds of documents in a common place, since they are scattered all over the place. Like I grab videos, I grab PDFs, and I put it in one project, create document groups for individual one of them, and enable just one document group and have a chat with them. So they all stay organized, as well as I don't lose track of where they went. Um, and of course, I mentioned the API, which is extremely useful for taking this platform outside of the platform. One of the things that I am currently working on is a CLI tool where I am using the API, and that is completely outside of the context of this platform. Uh, we have a supercomputer, and they have documentations, and we are trying to create a CLI tool where that documentation can be delivered on the fly in the terminal to you, and we don't use the platform for it because it is on the terminal. So this, that is one of the examples where you can use this platform's API in context of outside of the platform. Yes. Sorry. Sure.
Is the doc.
Yep. This is the chatbot, and this is the original documentation. All right. I think I have covered all of the use cases as well as all of the features we have. And now for the roadmap on what we are planning ahead. Um, so we have an enormous effort of doing Illinois branding, since this is becoming a campus service now. And we have all sorts of purple colors, as you saw, which was our initial design. We are working on a UX redesign as well as branding refresh, so that we adhere to Illinois' branding guidelines. Uh, we're trying to bring file uploads as well as web search directly in the chat. You can do web crawling if you create a project, but that is not enabled in the chat per se. So we are trying to bring web search as well as file uploads. We have image uploads, and file uploads are coming soon. Custom GPTs are also coming soon. These we are actively working on this. We have initial prototypes, and I think we should see this very soon on the platform. We're also working on a few integration enhancements. The one we're working on right now is a Canvas LMS integration, where the chatbot can live in your Canvas course. You don't have to go to the platform to guide your students to use the platform. They can just chat in the Canvas course itself, since they are already accustomed to the Canvas UI. Um, we're also going to work on Google as well as Microsoft integration, so that we can pull in information from those areas. And of course, we are constantly always working on an expanded library and research database access. We have tons of publicly accessible uh, publication chatbots. Say, for example, the one I shared, which is Crop Wizard, or the one which I shared is one which I did not share is PubMed, which is a research publication. So all of these are publicly accessible, and you can, take use of them. Some of the advanced capabilities that we will be working down the line is agentic workflows for complex tasks, similar to what I showed for Crop Wizard, but in a more iterative and more autonomous fashion. Um, Apart from that, we have plans for collaborative spaces. Right now, each chat, like you can share the chatbots, but that is per user. So soon you will be able to be in a group and chat together, similar like a Discord channel or a Slack channel. um, Apart from that, we are working on code execution and debugging, where the code generated by the model can be used within the system to execute that and do data analysis or create visualizations, matplot uh, visualizations, stuff like that. And of course, we are planning to work on multimodal capabilities, expanding it from just images to also audios and videos. And lastly, and this is where I answer your question, Jamie, we are also working on a self-hosted version of Illinois Chat, where we can help you set up a private instance of Illinois Chat on the servers that we have, or anywhere on the cloud where you want it, and you can have everything on your machines or wherever you think is safe. So yes, that's where I answer this question. Does that help?
Somebody had asked, are FERPA and HIPAA compliance on the roadmap? I think that's what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. So if you have terabytes of information or sensitive information, do reach out to us. We talk to such people and set up instances for them. We will make these publicly accessible, easy to do very soon. Lastly, this is my favorite part, tips and tricks. Like how to get the most out of the system. As I said, system prompt is your holy grail. Like if you think something is not being done correctly, you just update the system prompt to do it better. Uh, you say what to do and also what not to do. That's the key part here. Um, One of the examples that I mentioned was the document based references only. This is very often used in legal and medical areas where they don't want any information from the model, which could always be inaccurate. They always want information from the content that they have uploaded. Um, to think about it, when to use this and when not to, when the tasks are creative and you don't mind being the model be inaccurate, then you can just leave this disabled. But the areas where you want very accurate information and only focused from your documents, then you should definitely use this. That's the entire reason we created this feature. Some of the other optimization techniques, as I mentioned somewhere previously as well, and I like to do this. I organize the documents in logical groups, and then it becomes very easy for me to just disable one of them or enable one of them to just talk with that subset of documents instead of having to talk with everything. And of course, regular updates helps, because if there is some information which is missing, then it can be updated, and if it's old, then you can again be caught in the area of hallucination where you get wrong answers just because the information is outdated. And that's all I have for tips and tricks. Any questions?
Think you've already answered, but I just want to make sure I understand. It's related to one of those last things that you were talking about there with use of your document groups. And I noticed in one of your use cases, you were showed professor had it organized week by week.
Right.
So if I've understood this correctly, what has to happen in that situation is that as the semester progresses, he has to go in, she has to go into the chat box itself, right? And then open up the new group gets each week.
Right.
So it becomes available to the students. That's it. And was that based reading its course website, or was that also foundational documents in this chat?
So for his particular chatbot, all the content was from Canvas. And yes, your to answer your question, I'll actually go to that chatbot and show it to you.
Again, maybe repeat, summarize the question.
Right. So the question is, how are the document groups used, as well as how the document groups can be enabled or disabled for the students? And I think I am on the wrong. Right. Okay. I got this one. I don't have that week 1, week 2 handy, but so this is on the.
With
Mhm.
using some groups and not other groups.
Mhm.
So that's a use case, yeah.
Right, right. So we have two levels of control here. So the first control is in dashboard, and this is only accessible to admins. So if you disable one of the groups and then you go to chat, then it will not show up in the settings. So you cannot use that document group anymore. You can only enable or disable this. Like you can just use textbook, for example.
And that research, I think, like, I teach like for grad students, so there's sort of two parts. Like, they, like, it seems attractive to be able to upload PDFs, but there are copyright concerns, and then students who are about to publish, concerned about any kind of leakage of anything that might go somewhere else, because they're trying to get published, right? So,
Mhm.
right. So I'm wondering how, for like the writing and research.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people just uploading their research papers and asking questions about it. Um, yeah, I mean, I can give guarantee from my side that the content cannot be leaked because it is all air gapped in AWS. And but yeah, I mean, I can understand if someone has concerns about their data being leaked.
So for like literature review, just like creating like a document group like that. Search and questions, like that's how I'm imagining it.
Yeah, for sure. Like for example, the agronomist chatbot that we have, I said that it has documents from all the universities. So it has documents for document groups for each particular university. So if you want to ask a question about just Illinois, then you can just enable that and disable everything else. Uh, why I mentioned this right now is because we also have research papers there in that particular project. So, a lot of people just want to use the research papers and not the extension knowledge. So they just use those research paper document groups to answer questions about them or even extend those researches forward. Does that answer your question? All right. And before, okay, go ahead.
Two questions. Just before you got here. Conversation history. They were.
Yes. Yes, so we have an ongoing bug, and that bug is known. We are working on fixing that right now, and that only happens when you have greater than 500 conversations.
So I have.
Then I need to look into that.
I've had dozens, but not over 500.
Then I need to look into that. I was aware of greater than 500, but I can take a look into that.
Second one was the guy. Yet the problems that specific set of problems they were still not just talking us through the process, but also giving us the
Right. Did you add anything extra in the prompt, or was it just gave you the answer?
I have done, I'm sorry, that's me. I have did it asking, please give me a problem.
Right.
Give me everything, including the solution. If I then say, please give me a problem without the solution, it will still give me the solution. Or it gives me so much of the explanation that it might as well. It gives me the solution. If
Right.
I'm getting it to limit just.
Right. So were you giving the problem, or were you asking it to generate the problem for you?
Materials, problem solutions, and adaptations to the solutions.
Okay.
And then to give me just a generic prompt. It'll do things
Right.
multiple choice questions,
Uh-huh.
but it always gives me the answer.
Right. And your query there is to generate a question, not an answer.
To generate the questions without generating an answer initially for the sake of speed to use.
Right, right. I think this can be solved. If you can share your project name, I can look into the system prompt. I think it's all about system prompt.
Yeah.
Like,
working with the system.
yeah. All right. And before I end, I would like to thank all of these departments who have funded our work for the last 2 years in terms of human personnel as well as infrastructure. Uh, it would not have been possible without them at all. So yeah, I would like to thank them a lot. And that is all from my side. Thank you so much. Again, this is the URL. You can have my contact and send me an email. And if you have any questions, I am here. If you would like to fill in the survey to tell me if my presentation was good or bad, please scan this QR code so that I can work on it for the future.